Hi guys, and welcome back to my channel. I wanted to bring to you some tips about raising and how to live this life with military children. Um, I have been in this military lifestyle for the past 13 years. I was a soldier for 6, and I have been married to a soldier for 13. My oldest child is 12 and my youngest is 4. So I just wanted to share with you some tips and some things that I have picked up along these years that have helped children, acclimate to the military lifestyle and to just adjust a little bit better. April is the month of the military child, where there are a lot of things around posts to celebrate them because they serve too, in their own capacity, and they make sacrifices, and they're just so resilient because they deal with a lot of things that other children, in their lifetime really don't have to deal with or even have to think about. So this month is made to celebrate them. Okay, starting with the first one, this is something that me and my husband always do with our children is we're extremely open with them as to why things happen, what's going to happen, and when it's going to happen. Whether it's training, whether it's deployment, a PCS, anything of that nature. We try to, as soon as we hear whispers, as soon as we hear anything that is going to, change their life dramatically, we talk to them about it. We let them get their feelings out. We let them ask questions. We try to make sure that they understand it. If they're uncomfortable, they can definitely talk to us about it. But we are completely open with them. We tell them why these things happen. And sometimes, even though they know why, it's just kind of annoying. And it's like, well, why do we have to move again? Or, what is daddy doing in the field? And we continue to explain it to them until they're comfortable. Or if they just want to vent and complain, we're completely okay with that too. But our rule of thumb is to always be open, always, be upfront with them, give them amount of space that they need to get used to it, to, ask questions, to complain about it, just to get out how they're feeling. We don't ever try to hide it or downplay it or anything of that nature. We just put everything out there. Even something as simple as the training that my husband goes to, he'll be gone for 30 days or, for a month-to-month period. We let them know why it's important. Soldiers aren't always at war, but just in case they are, they have to be up on those skills. Just things, that they can understand. Now, my 4-year-old is not going to understand that, but my 12-year-old does. And we explain those type of things to her. And honestly, I think at this point in time, she's kind of comfortable. She's been doing this forever. But if you're a new family, if you've got young children, this is just a rule of thumb that we have. It might seem like a lot or it might be intimidating to a child, but they're a lot stronger and they're a lot more resilient than we give them credit for. So what's always worked in our family and our rule of thumb is to be honest, to be upfront, and to get it out in the open as soon as possible so they can get accustomed to the idea. Now, when it comes to moves and PCSs, one thing that I try to do with my children is I try to get them excited about the area that we're going to. When we first got news that we were leaving Virginia and going to Washington, which was a lot more difficult for my kids because I'm from Virginia and my entire family is there. We just try to get them excited about, the mountains that we would see and the hiking that we would be able to do. If your children are a little bit younger and they really don't care about, sights and things of that nature, then I would, talk about things like, hey, there's this really great park, or you're going to really love your new school. This is what I heard about it. Or even their new bedroom. If you know what housing you're going into, get them excited about decorating, or, tell them that they can do something special to the walls or anything like that, just so they can see that move in a positive light. The next tip that I find helpful for children is that when you arrive to wherever you're going, if you're doing a PCS or any type of change, I would say the military community is really, really important to try to surround yourself with that. I know sometimes people don't have the best experiences with, other spouses or, with other families or soldiers or things of that nature. But I would try really hard to find engaging activities with other military families and other military children. Now, my children don't always go to school on post, but if it is a possibility, I try to have them go. Even if I feel that a school off post might be better, I'm a stay-at-home mom, so if there's anything in their education that I'm not comfortable with, or I feel that, they're not being challenged enough, I stay at home so I can, supplement their education. But I feel socially and emotionally, it's really good for them to be around children that are like them, that understand that I just moved somewhere and I don't have any friends, or someone, that's like, hey, I haven't seen my dad for the past 6 months, something like that. So the children, so they can talk about it with each other, so that they can, vent, and so they don't feel like they're the oddball out. So for me, my children, wherever we're going, wherever they are at, it's really important for them to have a bond, have friends, whether it's a soccer team, something on base with other military families and other military children, so they can have, those peers that are going through the exact same things that they are going through. For my third tip, this is for children that are a little bit more older, your tweens to your teens. And this is not a really comfortable subject to talk about, but it's the truth of the matter. Families living on post and families engaging in activities on military bases are privileged. The only person that is commanded to be there is the soldier. So it's really important that your children understand that things that, sometimes that teenagers or young children get into, the trouble that they get into or they cause, will not be tolerated on a military base. Families can and have been kicked off of base and kicked off of post due to their children's behavior. So if you have a child that's doing things like stealing from the PX, or that they are causing trouble, they will have to leave that post. The soldier cannot and does not have to leave. I have known, unfortunately, there was a single mother when I was stationed in Germany, and her children, they were going through some things, I guess a phase or whatever, and they got into a lot of trouble, stealing or fights inside of, the DOD school. And those children from Germany had to be sent back to America to live with a family member. The military doesn't tolerate those type of things, I guess, because it's a lot of trouble just to get families there. It's a lot of money to get civilians to teach in those schools. It costs a lot for the Army to operate somewhere outside of where they normally are. So your children have to play by the rules. They have to behave accordingly, or the spouse as well as the children can be commanded to leave that post, to leave, that country if you are stationed overseas and things of that nature. The punishment for children that do things on base, not only do they get into, the regular juvenile trouble, but the soldier is also, put under, surveillance. I guess that's a lack of a better word, but I guess a probationary period, where if you can't get your family, and your household in order, that they can receive punishment for that as well. So that is something that if you have teens or tweens, something to stress to them, because, their actions have real consequences for the entire family. Now, my fourth and my last tip is, as much as you possibly can, try to keep consistency for your children. And it is incredibly hard, but you have really got to go the extra mile and try. What I do is I keep a hold of all the numbers of her friends that she's made at one post, and their parents as well, so that the children can continue to communicate, so they can, continue to have that bond with each other. I try to keep update to see if we're ever going to pass each other. Like, even though we may be stationed somewhere different for 2 years, like, where are you guys going next? Just in case that is something that we might cross each other's paths, so that we can keep up to date like that. For younger children, what I try to do is I try to keep consistency with my family back at home. Any way that they can engage, with grandma, grandpa, aunties, uncles, cousins, any way that they can, try to make that a priority. I know flying to see them, or traveling back home is not always an option. If you're within a distance where you can do that and you can financially afford it, I would definitely suggest it. Even maybe something small like keeping their rooms exactly the same. If you can keep the same furniture, the same blankets, as children grow, I know they don't always want the same things, but if they do, then I would strongly suggest that those are the things that you can keep consistent. So you should definitely make the effort and try. So you guys, thank you for sticking with me all the way to the end of the video. I hope these tips and these pointers help you, or they give you some things to think about within your own family and trying to have your children adjust and just trying to raise them and all the changes that happen in the military life. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.